Gedeh T.C. Bole,
do solemnly swear
that the presentation
I've come to make
on behalf of the women of Gedeh County
to the TRC of Liberia
to the TRC of Liberia
is true,
is true,
nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
Help me God.
So help me God.
Hello.
Hello.
Before you begin, let me first introduce to you the commissioners here present. On my left, Commissioner Martha Washington. Next to Commissioner Washington, Jerome Voider, the chairman. On my immediate right, Commissioner Gerald Coleman, and I'm Commissioner Omosila. So please state your name again.
Gedeh T.C. Bole.
Jessica. Date of birth.
December 25th, 1983.
Christmas here. 63. Did you say Jessie Bell?
Jesadeh. Gedeh.
Oh, Gedeh.
Jezebel, when you know Jezebel.
I was wondering now, so who can do that kind of thing?
So you're born Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Everybody celebrated Day.
Thanks to God.
Well, we say thank you for coming and welcome.
Thank you.
So who are you representing?
I'm representing the women of Gedeh County.
Present occupation? You.
I'm a student.
Okay.
You can proceed now.
Okay. We like to say thank you to the TRC. As the process began, we, the women of Gedeh County, have been following, and we have been very much supportive. As you can see, many of us came here to testify. We want to start first by confronting our past experiences, so to speak, things that happened to us during the war. The experiences of the women of Gedeh County. The women of Gedeh saw their children, husbands, and parents die from hunger, sicknesses, rackets, and other deadly weapons. Some were raped in many forms and shapes. For example, inciting of sticks, knives, and guns into women. Gang rapes caused many of us to become barren today, and also left us with different kinds of sexual transmitted diseases. Many women were used as sex slaves, which is very degrading and humiliating. The women of Gedeh were also used as domestic slaves, which include pounding or beating of rice from sunrise to sunset, cooking for people whom they saw killing their husbands and other relatives. They were also used as transportation, carrying loads on their heads while they were beaten by animal forces or fighters. Forced marriage was also one of our experiences. Today, some of our mothers are still in Nima, Rivergy, and other counties. We saw our houses, villages, and towns burned to ashes. We saw and know what it meant to be rejected and stigmatized by society. Even a 2-year-old crown child could not play with other children. Because of all of these, we were afraid to tell our story. Our worst experience was and is discrimination. Discrimination because of our ethnic background. Most of us were forced to change our names, and members of other tribes stopped affiliating with us. We are saying this because this discrimination is still practiced today in many shapes and forms. Forced deliveries were done just on beds by factors to satisfy the curiosity on the sex of an unborn grandchild. To summarize, our rights and dignities were grossly violated and abused. The role of the Grand Gedeh women during the Civil War. Women were protecting and finding food for their children. Husbands, relatives, and other children they met along the road while running. Some took up arms to defend themselves and other members of their families. In the struggle for survivors, others were forced to become prostitutes. The impact of the war on the women of Grand Gedeh County. The civil crisis left behind many widows, orphans, and disabled that have now become disabilities and liabilities to the society. Recovery for most of us is very difficult to come by, as husbands and children who should have been of great help today were all killed. Most of the women are seriously traumatized, frustrated, and mentally ill. Increase in illiteracy rate among the women, and high increase in teenage pregnancy. Recommendations. We, the women of Grand Gedeh County, recommend the following: medical treatment and psychosocial counseling for some of our sisters and mothers who were infected as a result of the rape and gang rape, so to speak. Sustainable livelihood for women, that is to say vocational schools, soap factory, clothing factory, as well as housing facilities for most of the communities that are in need. To conclude, we recommend forgiveness for perpetrators who ask it. And we say, in our own Liberian way, let bygone be bygone. Thank you.
Clap for her one more time. Her presentation was excellent.
Because I woman now.
Women, oh women. Women, oh women.
Women,
Don't say that.
do something positive with the men.
Thank you very much, Jezebel, for your brilliant presentation. We have traveled far and wide around all the counties, been to Maryland, Grand Crew, Grand Gedeh, and now in River G. What you have, and now we're in Grand Gedeh. What you have just stated here today have been shared by other women in other counties. But there's a lot of things unique about your experience, about what the Grand Gedeh women, what you just said on behalf of the Grand Gedeh women. But rape, notice that in all the counties, there are a lot of widows as a result of that. And your recommendation too were very, very excellent, because in other counties, because we all believe that the scar of war takes a long time to heal. But the process of truth telling is important, because the more you speak about it, the better it is for you as a human being. So on behalf of the Commission, we say thank you again. My other colleagues will ask you one or two questions. We begin with Commissioner Martha Washington. She's the chair of the Women Committee at the Commission.
Ms. Bode, thank you so much for your presentation. I thought it was very, very brilliant, and I must congratulate you.
Thank you.
Okay. And also the women of Grand Gedeh, Sis Abdella and Erin, all the women, for your hard work. You first recounted the experiences of the women of Grand Gedeh County during the war, and you spoke of many things that the women experienced during the conflict. Rape in the most heinous fashion that led to the contracting of sexually transmitted diseases, women as sex slaves, the destruction of the entire family system and the fabric of their society, including the killing of their sons and husbands, the burning of their homes, their towns and villages. But you spoke also of one experience that the women of Grand Gedeh went through, and which you said is still, persisting today, which you described as the worst experience that the women of Grand Gedeh have had, and which I think claimed my attention, because in this day and age, where even Black America has come a long way since the Civil Rights Movement and everything, you spoke of discrimination. And I think discrimination is really, really a big thing amongst the people, especially when you're talking about one nation, one people with basically one culture, everybody knowing everybody, and what have you. So the issue of discrimination here, as you have described, is alarming, and I think that is something that the Commission needs to pay attention to in this process. We have been to a lot of counties, and all of the counties during outreach and statement taking, and for some reason or another, the issue of discrimination has not been like a focal thing as you have brought to our attention here. So that was very good research on your part. Now tell me, this discrimination that you speak of, how is the community, one, dealing with it? Because you have other tribes that live with you, and like one of your honorable just said, sometimes in some places they make up the majority of percentage of people in your area. So in other words, you have some other crowns and even other people, quote unquote, who were in conflict with you, who might be in the majority in certain communities. So how are you guys coping with this issue of discrimination? How is the community handling it? And what are the specific programs or approaches that the women of Grand Gedeh County are employing to make sure that discrimination amongst the people of Grand Gedeh stops?
Thank you very much, Commissioner Washington. We, the women of Grand Gedeh, said discrimination because we saw it. We know what it means to be discriminated against. And today, it is still practiced, even in our communities. What we do, because we are peace-loving people, and in the home, if the woman is not strong, definitely the home will not hold. So what we do as women, we call these community meetings, and we talk, because most of the time we have many women groups existing in Grand Gedeh. We try to work through them and through the gender coordinator in the county. That's how we address the issue.
So a follow-up to my question, what have been some of the specific approaches that you guys have adopted to deal with the discrimination against Grand Gedeans?
First thing, we try not to be violent.
Non-violent approach?
Yeah. We try to look at it the other way to see, maybe if I were this person, put yourself in the person's shoe. Those are some of our strategy. Maybe if I were this person, I would have done this, I would have felt this way. And so we call this person And we have social workers in our communities, and we go through them to address the issue.
So do you have any specific assistance coming from outside, whether at the national government level or at the NGO level, to help build your capacity as you are dealing with this issue of discrimination in the community?
We have a women group here that I can talk about. Those are spiritual people. They do counseling and praying, so we normally refer to them. But from central government, no.